What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to X-Men's Expanding Universes, where today we go over yet another new what if, which is going to be, what if Wanda Maximoff became the Sorcerer Supreme? I am really excited to introduce you guys to this new story, so if you guys enjoy, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, and let's get straight into the story. Yeah, little FYI, I do have COVID right now. I literally was bedridden all for a whole fucking week, which sucked. I had strep throat, I had a fever, and then I got asymptomatic positive. So I was very lucky to get that Guinea episode out. So if this is future, which it will come out in the next upcoming week. I just posted the Guinea one, so hopefully I'll be all healed up by then. So yeah, just a little FYI, I'm fucked right now. In the heated battle of Sokovia, the Avengers gather together, with the new members being Wanda, Pietro, and Vision. The three help fight off Tony Stark's misguided creation Ultron, and soon enough, the battle comes to its climax. When it seems like the battle is reaching the end, Wanda feels the presence of her brother disappear, as Pietro would sacrifice himself to save not only a child, but also a fellow Avenger. Wanda's anger then comes to the surface, as her chaos magic obliterates every Ultron bot in the area. She feels a powerful presence in that moment, feeling that there was something that triggered this power to come out, and that what she just experienced wasn't her full power. She'd look at her hands in horror, but also amazement, as she never expected her power to be so chaotic and merciful. These dark thoughts would soon enough have a source, as Ultron would land back down. Before executing the genocidal AI, Ultron tells Wanda that she has the potential to save the world with this power. She has it, and not to waste it. Wanda then becomes agitated, but soon enough rips out the heart of Ultron. Wanda would then be rescued by the Vision, and the battle would end as the Avengers would head home. Once the dust and violence would settle, Steve Rogers would offer Wanda a position in the Avengers, saying that she has shown great promise, and her heart's in the right place when it comes to dire situations. Wanda would like this offer, but an unsettling presence would still lurk in her, and she would say that before she joins them, she needs to go off and truly understand her power, or people would be getting hurt. Steve would reply, saying that the powers she had gotten from the Mind Stone have changed her, but she's the one who decides how she wants to use her powers, but Wanda actually replies with the opposite. She says that she feels like this power is more than just the Mind Stone, and that lurking power inside her scares her. Steve would understand, saying that Stark can help her, but Wanda would say that she doesn't quite trust Stark. Wanda would decide that she's going to look for help by herself, with Steve telling her to be careful in her journey. Wanda would thank the captain, and she would pack her things and explore the world. It would take Wanda a year to finally find answers that a certain individual would also be looking for. As Wanda would seek for answers and help, she would meet many nice people who would try to help her, but it wouldn't exactly help. She would be on a hopeless journey until she would come across a man that seemed to utilize energy like she did. She would focus her powers and find a man named Jonathan Pangborn. After watching him play basketball, she would confront him, asking what's that power he has, with Pangborn being very surprised that she is able to detect his magic. Pangborn would tell her, reluctantly, that he had delved into the ancient practices that allowed him to use magic and have it flow through his body, even though he was crippled. Wanda would ask where he learned these practices, with Pangborn being directed towards Kamar-Taj. Once arriving, she looks constantly around the city, where she would soon have come across another one who had magical presence, but this one was more refined, mastered, and potent. Wanda would meet Karl Mordo, and soon enough would be in the presence of the Ancient One. Once she would come across the Ancient One, she would ask her for help, as the power she holds onto is more than the power of an Infinity Stone. The Ancient One would tell Wanda that her power is chaos magic, and that only one being in existence holds onto that power, the Scarlet Witch. Wanda would be mesmerized hearing of the tale of the Scarlet Witch, and this would further her desire to be trained to understand her power, but the Ancient One declines as she sees a pale reflection of her old disciple. The Ancient One would kick out Wanda in a comedic fashion and would just listen on, with Wanda saying she'll be here all day if she needs to. The Ancient One would be even more hesitant than she was with Strange, as if she leads Wanda down the wrong path, she can doom not only this universe, but every other. The Ancient One would try to use the Time Stone to look into Wanda's future, but it would always end with a silhouette of the Scarlet Witch emerging. Seems like this witch was inevitable, but maybe, if they are able to channel her magic into something positive, then just maybe, they can convert the Scarlet Witch into a force for good. Soon enough, Wanda would be let in, and Mordo would oversee her progress alongside the Ancient One. The Ancient One would be having a close eye on Wanda, just in case. Now, instead of Wanda only having the Darkhold to rely on when coming to her magic, it would be all of the books in Kamar-Taj, which is a good thing, except for the Darkhold, of course. The spells in Kamar-Taj were made for good, and since they are, Wanda isn't learning anything dark, or anything that will allow her to jump into any other universe looking for trouble. Wanda would continue to progress over time, with her progression being way faster than Strange's in the normal timeline. She wouldn't be as outgoing as Strange when it comes to looking at forbidden spells, but she definitely would look into them. Unlike Strange, she wouldn't sneak off with these spells, as the Ancient One wouldn't allow her to, saying that she could master these things easily, but in reality, she fears what will happen if Wanda comes into contact with the Time Stone. The Ancient One would then plan to show Wanda the true fear of the Scarlet Witch. She would call Wanda's attention and would use the Time Stone to show Wanda becoming the Scarlet Witch. Wanda would ask why this is important, as she already told her about this before, but the Ancient One would continue by showing her. She would then set up an illusion, showing the world to be in a dark husk of life, with Wanda looking on in horror. The one being would continue by saying that the Scarlet Witch is a being foretold to be the end of all worlds. Wanda will look as the illusion would show her chaos magic spreading through the universe, killing it, then spreading further into the multiverse and killing other worlds. The Ancient One would say that the future is going to bring along dark forces, and things may seem like they only get harder or worse, but the truth is, things will only become harder. When the world begins to shine bright, there is always a shade of darkness that will return. The question isn't will it get better, the answer is that Wanda will. If not, then it'll doom them all. The one being would thank Wanda for her time, with Wanda then walking off, as she would take this into consideration as she continues her training. Wanda would continue to progress in her training, and she would be able to make portals with sling rings and conjure up many spells that could help her in combat. Her combat training with Mordo would also move along smoothly, as she wouldn't now just have to rely on her magic as a sole purpose of offense. As the Ancient One takes upon a new student, an old one comes to rise. Kaecilius begins his journey to summon Dormammu with his followers much earlier, as the rumors of the Scarlet Witch intrigues/scares him. If he is able to recruit the Scarlet Witch to his forces, summoning Dormammu would be inevitable. The London Sanctum is soon enough targeted, which alerts the Ancient One and Wanda. Wong and Mordo then tell Wanda about the origins of Dormammu and the Dark Dimension, and Wanda is almost intrigued to learn about eternal life until the truth is told about it, and this wouldn't really intrigue her anymore. Wanda then tells Wong and Mordo that she went to them for help, not to be roped into a war. Before she has the chance to leave, the London Sanctum falls, and Wanda is pushed into the New York Sanctum. Not knowing where she is, she investigates the Sanctum until she comes across the Master of the Sanctum, who unfortunately is killed by Kaecilius. Wanda then jumps down and fires a blast at Kaecilius, but he catches it and smirks. He then tells Wanda that they've been looking for her. Wanda grows a confused look, asking what they mean. Kaecilius then responds that he was surprised to hear about the Scarlet Witch requesting aid from the Masters of the Mystic Arts, especially the Ancient One. he thought she would probably be going to witches for help. Wanda then says that she's not who he thinks she is, and that she only went to get training so she can control her powers. Kaecilius would begin to chuckle under his breath, saying that she won't truly learn how to control her powers if she doesn't embrace both sides of it, the light and the dark. Kaecilius says that if she truly wants to learn how to control her powers, then training under the Ancient One is the wrong path. Kaecilius continues to try to draw Wanda closer to his side by adding that if they summon Dormammu, then she won't ever have to suffer loss again. Not her brother, not her parents, nobody. Wanda is stunned, conflicted, but most of all, scared. Once again, after trying to put out that darkness within, someone is always reminding her of it. As Kaecilius continues to taunt her, she begins to fall to her knees, trying to blind out his words by cupping her ears, but then her power then begins to surface once more, and she bursts out her chaos magic towards Kaecilius and his followers. He's able to dodge her attack, but it hits the other two members and disintegrates them both. Kaecilius then looks upon Wanda, whose eyes are full of chaos magic, and she tells Kaecilius that she doesn't need anyone to tell her who she is. As she says this, a crown begins to cast over her head, and she prepares to battle. The group then look over to see Mordo, who has joined Wanda in the battle. Mordo tells Wanda to keep her anger under control, and reminds her that her anger is what fuels her. Wanda then takes a deep breath and reignites her power, and the two begin to face Kaecilius. Kaecilius conjures a blade made from the force of the dark dimension and dashes at Wanda and Mordo, but the two would stay on offense. The master and student slowly begin to outclass the follower of Dormammu, as Wanda would create her own weapons with her own chaos magic, and with Mordo's long experience in hand-to-hand combat alongside his student, the two are able to pin Kaecilius in a cage where he would be neutralized. The Ancient One would arrive and commend Wanda on her work, saying the Sanctum needs a new protector, but Wanda snaps back. She would say that she went to the Ancient One in hopes to understand her power more, so she doesn't hurt people, but all she has been doing since Wanda has arrived is tell her that she is a bigger threat to everyone, but now she wants her to protect a Sanctum? The Ancient One would then say that at the beginning she was uneasy. The Scarlet Witch coming to her for help isn't something that she foresaw coming. Wanda would ask what she means, with the Ancient One becoming tight-lipped. Kaecilius would then chirp in, saying that she would be naive to believe that this Ancient One has been able to survive all her life. Wanda and Mordo would be confused, with one being trying to shut him away, but Wanda would stop her. The one being would try to shake off Wanda, but Wanda would be stronger. Mordo would look on shocked to see this, and would look up to see Wanda, with Wanda asking Kaecilius what he means. Kaecilius would say that he guessed she may be that naive, but Mordo isn't. Mordo would then state that the one being is using Dormammu's power. Wanda would be shocked, but angered to hear this, with Wanda saying that after all that talk about never resorting to the darkness, she has been utilizing it this whole time. Kaecilius would laugh, as a man would stab the one being. Wanda would look on shocked to see a bearded man, but he would look familiar. The man would ask if she remembers him. Wanda would say that she doesn't know him. The man would say he thought so. So he will reintroduce himself. His name is Dr. Stephen Strange, and he is now a servant of Dormammu. Strange in this story had tailed Wanda to Kamar-Taj, but when he would arrive to their doors, he would see them allowing her in, and he would try to rush inside, but he would then get stopped by robbers. For weeks, months, he would get nothing but hate, and he would damn Kamar-Taj, damn everyone in his life, and soon enough, meet Kaecilius, who would see this man to be a great candidate to recruit to his aid. Back to the scene, Wanda would summon a chaos magic blade, with Strange smirking towards Wanda, as he would grab Kaecilius and disappear. Wanda and Mordo would be in fear of this, until they hear the one being groaning on the ground. Wanda would go over and say that she's sorry, she shouldn't have snapped, but the one being would then fall unconscious. Mordo would just watch on horrified, with Wanda asking him to help. Wanda would begin to do CPR, but then would go into her astral form to see the one being right above her. Wanda would ask what she is doing. She's going to die. The one being said that she should have died a long time ago, and now she sees that. She would say that it's her fault that she didn't see that, and her failure has resulted into many people getting hurt, including Wanda. She would tell Wanda that she won't be able to continue anymore, that she is accepting her fate, and that Wanda, being the Scarlet Witch, shouldn't define her. Before she became the witch, she was always Wanda, and she wants her to always remember that. The one being would then fade away, with Wanda watching on in grief, with her then hearing a large bang. Mordo would then tell Wanda that those two are attacking the Hong Kong Sanctum, the last one. Wanda would then take the Eye of Agamotto and would tell Mordo they must go. They would arrive just in time, as Wong would be fighting off both Kaecilius and Strange, but the two would be getting near to ending Wong until Wanda arrives. Kaecilius would ask if she's come to bargain, with Wanda saying no, she's come to save them. The two look on surprised, with Wanda saying that all her life, darkness has traveled with her, and every day it reminds her it's still there. But she's been able to stay out of it through the help of her friends and even her new family. Kaecilius had his chance, but fell because of grief. Strange wasn't even given a chance. She wants to change the two for the better with her new powers, and she promises that she can help them both. Kaecilius would say that she won't stop them from immortality. The two would become apprehensive, with Wanda then bursting her eyes red and bringing the two into a mental world of her own. Wanda would then look upon the two and their souls, where a distressed, more human-like Strange and Kaecilius would be, one in grief and one in misery. Their bodies would be overcome with darkness, with Wanda then blasting the darkness, with an entity then grimacing in pain, and then forming into the fiery being which would resemble Dormammu. Wanda would then watch as the entity would walk towards her in rage, as she would say to leave these humans' bodies alone. Dormammu would then grin in rage and slap her away. She would then get up, with Dormammu saying that his power is eternal wherever he goes, so to submit now. Wanda would say that she is the Scarlet Witch, and now he's in her world. Wanda would then awaken her power, with Dormammu then charging forward. The two would form magic spells, where Wanda's speed and power would hurt Dormammu, but Dormammu's attacks were full of darkness and malice, which would be affecting Wanda's mind. In the real world, Wong and Mordo would see a large red barrier, where Wanda and the two villains would be. Wong would then look around him, with him noticing that nobody is moving, with him then peeking closer to see that Wanda was utilizing the time stone to freeze time. Mordo would ask what she's doing, with Wong saying that Wanda has set the two into a mind cage, where if she failed, then the two villains would be frozen in time. Mordo would ask how they know if she's failed. Wong would then look on to see the barrier begin to fade in and out. Back in the mind space, Dormammu would fire a dark sphere towards Wanda, and she is able to barely dodge it as it grazes her arm and burns her. She then clutches onto her arm to see it infected by Dormammu's dark magic. Dormammu would then scream at her to submit, as he would then fire two large dark fire rays towards Wanda, with Wanda using one arm to fire her chaos energy back. The two magic attacks collide, with Wanda barely holding her own. Mordo and Wong would then see Wanda's barrier begin to fade out more, with time slowly beginning to resume. Dormammu would then begin to laugh hysterically as he would step forward, saying that even as the Scarlet Witch, her power is nothing in comparison to his. Wanda would watch as the flame would get closer to herself, with her beginning to crumble, until Dormammu then stops. Dormammu then looks over to his side, where he sees another Wanda. Wanda's voice would then begin to echo, as she would tell Dormammu that being the Scarlet Witch doesn't define her. She is the one that will always define herself. There would be hordes of Wanda clones all around Dormammu, with them all charging up their magic, preparing to fire it, until the main Wanda screams out as she pushes Dormammu back with her power, with the other Wandas then firing their chaos magic on the Dormammu entity, which then begins to crumble the villain, with Dormammu then beginning to scream as his body would crumble and then explode. Wanda would then summon the clones back to heal herself. She would then get up, with her then looking towards Strange and Kaecilius, where they had a dark aura before, it would be gone now. In the real world, she then opens her eyes, with her barrier disappearing, with Wong and Mortal looking on surprised as they would see Strange and Kaecilius fall to the ground. Wong would then go up to Wanda, asking her how she was able to defeat Dormammu. Wanda would chuckle, saying that chaos magic is very powerful, but against the immortal entity Dormammu, it never would have been able to kill him. Instead, she was able to cast away the dark influence that affected both Strange and Kaecilius. Wong would be impressed, with Mordo then approaching the two men, summoning a knife, with Wanda stopping him. Mordo would order her to release him, with Wanda saying that both of the men are free now of their dark influence and deserve redemption. Mordo would say that she isn't in the right mind if she believes that affecting reality to help these two are worth it. Wanda would say that of all people, he should be wanting to help them after helping her, but he would say that he did that with the idea of keeping reality in balance and order, but now there wasn't any more order after finding out what he did. He would then walk away from them, with Wong joining Wanda in her efforts to restore the two. It would take some time, but Wanda believed that she could do it. Wanda would become the Sorcerer Supreme and would look over the New York sanctum until she would be able to find a suitable candidate. We'd then flash forward a bit, where Vision would visit Wanda, saying that with everything she had to go through, becoming a sorceress can suit her. Wanda would blush, with Vision seeing himself out and asking when he can see her next. Vision would stutter, as he would say on the team of course, with Wanda saying that Vision can visit her anytime. She would then say that she'll be back, hopefully soon, but to send her regards to Cap and the other Avengers. Vision would wish her luck, as he would exit the sanctum. She would then head to the bathroom, where she would wash her face and look to the mirror, where her eyes would turn into a dark purple in the appearance of Dormammu. Wanda would look on horrified, with her hearing the chuckle of Dormammu in her ear. And with that, we'll leave this story off for right here. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and if you guys enjoyed another Marvel What If, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, as I am working on the Civil War part of the story right now, but it's not going to come out for a while. But if you do want it to come out sooner, let's get this video to 50 likes. Now, with Wanda awakening her Scarlet Witch powers and becoming the Sorcerer Supreme early in this story, how will that affect her involvement in the Avengers? Well, we'll see next time. Later!